We've all had a difficult time buying tickets. Lakers games are expensive, but I try and find games to take my son Vinny to. It's hard to find good deals, especially at the last minute.
You shouldn't have to worry when you buy tickets to your next big event. Game Time is a fast and easy way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, and theater events near you.
The Lakers have a ton of home games the remainder of the year. I like that in the Game Time app, they have last-minute tickets. You can see views from every seat.
Game Time is the only ticketing app that gives you complete peace of mind with your purchase. Their all-in pricing shows your total up front, so you know you're getting a great deal before you buy. They also have the Game Time guarantee, which means you'll always get the best price.
Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time.
Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code J&J for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code JANDJ for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed.
Forget about what the calendar says. Football season is right around the corner, and that means Best Ball Week at DraftKings isn't far behind. Here's what you need to know. DraftKings Best Ball Millionaire Contest is their biggest fantasy contest ever. We're talking 15 million guaranteed prize pool with two millionaires being crowned for first and second place.
If you're a set it and forget it type, then Best Ball is for you. No waiver wires, no roster management, bigger roster so injuries won't end your season. Only the draft, and that's it. You're set for the season. And $15 million in prize money is no joke. Still not convinced? Check this out. This year, DraftKings is offering everyone a Draft One, Get One special. Your $20 entry fee scores you a bonus ticket.
Get ready for Best Ball Week at DraftKings. Download the DraftKings app and use code Jenkins. That's code JENKINS, Jenkins, for all customers who enter the NFL Best Ball $15 million millionaire contest to get a bonus ticket. Only during Best Ball Week. Only on DraftKings.
That's live. This motherfucker. When he gets in a straight producer mode, like 10 seconds.
McGee over here, buddy.
I mean, I appreciate Jackson because we were talking about people's real life jobs, so we don't need to accidentally have that on YouTube.
But we need to clown him. We have to. He's little bro.
Yeah,
you know
for
what
sure.
I mean?
For
we
sure.
gotta do it.
You're right. 10 seconds. Quick time. Get your quick time going. Welcome to Jenkins and Jones on the Volume Podcast Network. It is Tuesday, July 23rd, and we have a very special, different episode of Jenkins and Jones today. We are joined by our internet cousin, one of our favorite people on the planet, Rita, the NFL chick. Rita, thank you for hopping on with us.
Of course. Y'all know y'all my favorite people, so I'm just glad to be here. I'm with the new daddy. I'm with my other favorite cousin. And of course, Mike, you my cousin too now. We all family at this point. So, I'm just glad.
Are you bummed you missed the everyone was crying for 45 minutes episode?
Actually, I am, because I'm a thug, right? I don't really be crying. So, sometimes you need that moment to bring it out of you. Sometimes you got to get that one off. And that's a good reason, a very good reason to cry, right? Like having these come to Jesus moments with ourselves about our purpose and all those things, that's some heavy, big shit. So I'm sad that I was not there, but I did have the opportunity to see it. And it was a great episode. So I'm just glad to be here.
My head hurt for an hour and a half after that shit. So
yeah, because y'all don't be crying and shit. Like, oh, what is these tears?
My head hurt, nigga. I was like, what the fuck is this?
I was like, I can't speak right now. What the fuck?
Bro, when my voice squeaked, I'm like, what the fuck? Nigga, I ain't never hit that note.
We excavated some new caverns in our brains. In our so it was like, I didn't realize my sinus went all the way up.
There in the brain that were created. What the fuck is this? I'm discovering a new place.
You can follow Rita, the NFL chick, on her social media accounts. Her partner in crime, Chelsea, couldn't be with us today, but this is like I said, a little bit different episode of Jenkins and Jones. I'm just going to disclaimer it right here. If you don't care about national politics, we completely understand that. And this is not going to be the episode for you, because that's what we're going to talk about for the whole episode. We will close with Dookie Butt of the Week. But I think something we've tried to do a lot, and especially lately on the show, is stick to the topics that genuinely interest us. obviously the three of us and Jackson have been in the group chat talking about what's been going on with Joe Biden and the Democrats and the election, more or less nonstop since the debate. Since John texted me during a baseball game I was coaching that Joe Biden looked like he was dead.
He sounded like this nigga sound like he ain't even alive. I've never experienced that before. You know what I mean?
So anyway, so because of that, because of everything that's happened, we thought it would be good to just hop on and talk about it. But we totally understand if you don't want to listen to that. But at this point, we're no longer disclaiming it. We're just going to be talking about it. So for the three of y'all, I thought it would be good to kind of cut the conversation in half. First part talking about Joe Biden, second part talking about Kamala Harris. But to start with, I think knowing the three of you, there were some different takes about whether Biden should be in the race or whether he should stay in the race. And so I'm just kind of curious for all three of your thoughts on what went down over the last, month and a half or whatever, since the debate and on Biden's decision to drop out.
Yeah, like you mentioned, this is something that we've been discussing in the group chat, and I was on the side of you got to let Biden run, right? I was on this because my whole point was this: we have to be completely honest with the grounds on which this race is being fought. It's not being fought on the grounds of competency. It's being fought on the grounds of how big of a deal breaker is racism and bigotry to you, right? And I thought that the old school white guy who's, a 50-year moderate, tough on crime, quote on, read black people whenever you hear that, tough on black people, who low-key doesn't like black people. I was like, this is probably the best chance that we have to beat Trump, I will say, though, that the groundswell of support that I've seen for Kamala has changed my tune a bit on that. And, we can discuss that when we talk about the Kamala transition. But I was firmly on the side of, you have to stick with Biden here. But like I said, I think I've changed my tune on that.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was like you, Tyler. I was the same way. I was like, I don't understand for a lot of reasons, right? I mean, one, we went through a whole primary process. And yes, I know that, nobody challenged him for the primary, but nonetheless, it happened and he was on it and he won the primary, largely too. And so that part of it. And then also I went through a whole situation of, well, I don't know, but do we not know math in 2 years? 2 years ago, he was going to be 81 years old. So I'm confused as to why y'all didn't have a concern then about his age and why it took a debate that he probably shouldn't have had to begin with, a realization of how old he looks or how old he's become. He was always going to look old. He was always going to look 80 years old. People be looking old, dog, and 80 years old American white men be looking old. I'm sorry, no disrespect. I'm just making the point here, So
if there's one thing an 81-year-old American white man is gonna do, it is look very
old. He probably
old.
looked old 30 years prior, nigga. You feel what I'm saying? Keep it in the bean.
Listen, I just couldn't understand. I think for me, it was like, so did we not know that he was going to age in 2 years? I think that was my point of it all, right? So we went through this democratic process and we choose this guy. And now all of a sudden, because he can really speak well, vocally, and okay, he had a couple brain farts. That don't bother me. I'm in my 40s. I have brain farts all the time, probably worse than Biden. So the brain farts don't bother me more so than like the reaction of the brain farts, right? And now y'all are scared and you're pushing this man out. So I couldn't understand, for me, like, how, number one, how we got here, how we allowed this guy who originally said he would be a transitional president to run for re-election, because why y'all didn't do this 2 years ago? And two, all right, you allowed him to do this again. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh no, we got to find a way to push him out. He's too old. Again, we knew he was going to be old. And that's where I stood with that when it initially dropped, John.
I knew the nigga was old, but the thing is, like, when you get to the point where, like, you look incompetent, I think that happened pretty fast. You know what I mean? And like 81 for some people is not the same as 81 for others. That nigga is an old ass 81. And when I was, you know what I'm saying? And when I was watching him, like, he's not finishing sentences. His voice sounds wavering. Like, this is not a president. You know what I mean? I'm confident. I'm thinking, so at least like that's where I was at with it. Where I was like, this dude doesn't seem like he has the mental capacity, You know what I mean? To work any job. I don't want him driving a car, let alone being a fucking president. You feel what I'm saying? So like that's where I was at with it. Like I understand where Tyler was coming from, but I just felt like, you know, when you're asking for a president not to be placed on television, when I'm like, don't put him on television anymore. Why are they having this debate? That's not a good place to be in. He does not need to, you know, he does not need to be running for president if we're asking him not to be put in front of people. That's what you are as the president. You feel me? So yeah, I mean, that's where I was at. When I saw the debate, I was just like, bro, like he can't finish sentences. I would do a better job up there. And I don't be finishing sentences, nigga. You know what I'm saying? I'm more confident in me. I'm so excited. I jump to another sentence. You know what I mean? But you know, like this nigga, he just, if I have more confidence in me in front of the world than you, I don't want you running shit. You know what I mean? Because I no way I should be president. You feel what I'm saying? So, dog.
And I think I think that when he did the like he's done interviews and stuff posting, and he spoke in front of a crowd, and obviously he sounded much better, but the damage at that point had already been done, right? Like you can't undo what we saw at the debate. And it didn't matter at that point how well he was going to speak, how many interviews he was going to do. People were not going to turn around and say, well, see, that was just, you know, that was just one time, you know what I mean? Because he's 81 years old, you know what I'm saying? So that's another thing too. I mean, it was however much damage control you were going to do, it wasn't going to matter. People had already come to the conclusion that you were an old ass man. You needed to go be with your family and be with them badass dogs that you got, because you know them dogs be biting everybody. And just make sure wilding. But hey, I ain't gonna even be mad. Dogs don't like bad vibes, and so I'm not even mad at that dog.
Dogs and babies, you can always trust them. You know what I mean?
Dogs and babies, no bad vibes. But now you ain't got to worry about, can he come to the White House anymore? Now you can just be a family man and, you know, retire well and do all of those things. For me, I'm just like, I just don't even understand like why we were allowed to get to this process to begin with, which to me says a lot about how I feel about the Democratic Party in that regard.
Yeah, I think you hit that on the head for sure, because he did say he was going to be a transitional president. That was part of the pitch in 2020 was, I'm going to open this bridge up. To me, John, I think I told you were the canary in the coal mine for me. It was you and like 3 other friends of mine who are really smart people who care a lot about what happens in the world and in our country, but who are not politics obsessed, who are not like every day, like, let me, be on top of this. Well, I got texts from you and, like I said, those 3 other people that were like, this man looks like he's already dead.
This is an important election. So we're tapping, like, we understand the importance of this election. You feel me? So like, I'm paying attention, and then I see that, I'm like, oh my God, you feel me? Like, and then I hit the nigga that I know talks about it, that reads about it, which is you. Like, what are we gonna do, Mike? You know what I mean?
And I was coaching baseball. I was like, based on what I'm seeing here, John, it's not looking good. But I think Rita hit it on the head, which was the one other thing I want to mention about the debate. He asked for the debate that debate was 3 months earlier than the debate would normally be. He asked for the debate to be early because his biggest issue was his age, and that was the narrative that everyone was bringing. It was what Republicans were attacking with. It was the biggest concern among the Democratic base was his age. And so he said, let me get on national TV 3 months ahead of schedule and prove that that's not going to be an issue for me. And when that's the whole reason you showed up to the debate and then the performance went the way it went, I was kind of on, I think Bomani said it, where he's like, political fans are about to find out what football fans have already known, which is if they're arguing about whether you're on the hot seat or not, you're on the hot seat. And if you're on the hot seat, you're gone. But that's what it felt like, because Rita's right. You're going to be on TV for another 4 months, and there's going to be other moments where you look, you're not going to do something to convince people of, that what they're seeing is incorrect. Right. And so that's where I felt like it ended up being necessary. Obviously there was a lot of praise heaped on him for selflessness, stepping aside, all this other stuff. What was your guys' thoughts on what that says about him? Do you feel that way, that it's like, wow, this was a big move that he steps aside? Or is it along the lines of what Rita's saying, like, you could have done this 2 years ago and let people vote for.
Hey, honestly, I'm not sure if he bowed down gracefully. Like, we haven't seen a public appearance from him. You know, I don't want to throw on the tinfoil hat, but I feel like COVID is a perfect cover up when you look at the timing for him to not make public appearances and step down, right? Like I would have thought that if you're stepping out of a presidential race, you would have had a conference, right? Like you would have had the press conference and you would have informed the people. But we found out on Twitter, like White House aides said they found out on Twitter. So yeah, I mean, look, people are saying the whole, yeah, you know, that was the most selfless thing I've ever seen a president do. Like, bro, I'm not sure if he stepped down gracefully. You might have had to pry that shit out of his very weak old 80-year-old grip. You know what I'm saying? So.
You know how they say, you know, it's the circle of life, right? And so, you know, babies, when they have tantrums, they have fits, right? And they don't give up easily. And I feel like that old people are literally like the same way, right?
Go
like
from diapers to diapers, you feel
they
me?
just go from diapers.
If you've had to care for an old person,
they go from diapers to diapers, and they have tantrums. I'm certain, particularly since you've been your president currently, right? You feel like you can continue to do this. I'm sure they had to pry that nomination out of his hands, like literally, and he probably went kicking and screaming like a fucking kid that is not having their way. I agree with Tyler. Like, I don't think it was selfless. I think it was necessary. Like, at some point he had to come to the reality that people didn't want him there, right? And don't nobody want to be nowhere they ain't want it, right? But then, like, and then in the grand scheme of things, unlike the other dude on the other side, he probably was like, you know, I don't have that much pride in me to be like, I don't give a fuck, I'm gonna keep going, because ultimately it's going to hurt the party, right? But I don't think that that's the first thing that happened, because literally the day before, there was he had reported that he was going back out on the campaign trail as soon as he was done with COVID, like literally the day before. I know that didn't happen that way. I know that old ass man went out kicking and screaming and was like, no. And then finally after it all, you know, laid down, he was like, all right, I guess you're all right. He didn't want to do it at all.
Only thing he spoke about certainty was that he wasn't dropping out. That's the only thing he spoke about was certainty.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Everything else, he didn't finish any other sentences but that sentence. Like, nigga, I'm here. You feel me? So I don't know. I don't know. I agree with y'all. I don't think he went out like, you know, gracefully. I think they had to pry from him, and I'm glad they did, G.
I could see it being like a college recruiting trip that they put photoshopped New York Times covers in front of him, like that say first president to give up power since George Washington. Like, I could see that being the pitch of like, this will be part of your legacy.
That motherfucker's probably like, who's George Washington? No, like,
was that the peanut butter guy?
I love peanut butter.
I did love that it happened on National Ice Cream Day, because he is an ice cream guy, like myself, big ice cream guy, you know. So that was, someone tweeted, this is possibly the most historic National Ice Cream Day we've ever had. That was true. But yeah, I mean, the other thing that I just would want to say is, you know, the reporting was out there that he was people weren't allowed to bring him what the polls said about his age. And, you know, what my wife and I talked quite a bit about this, about like, where are we? And what we both were saying at the time was, we just want certainty, right? Like, if it's going to be Biden, then say it's fucking Biden and let's stop talking about it and go. If it's going to be someone else, shit, we better fucking hurry up, because it's the middle of July. Like, the convention's coming up. It's got to be someone else quickly. But what I told her was, there's a lot of things about the Democratic Party I don't like or agree with, but I vote Democratic like 99.9% of the time in my life. And I am a dork about politics. I was proud to register to vote. I was excited the first time I got to vote. I bring my kids with me when we vote every time. You know, all that goofy fucking white American shit. But what I told Shar was, one thing that I have liked as a Democrat is, as you see what's happening on the other side, I would like to believe that there are some things that matter to us. And when you start hearing that the president is refusing to see polls that are hurtful to him emotionally and stuff like that, that's where, to me, I was like, I don't want to be someone who's supporting that, because that's what they're doing. And I think they're fucking stupid for it. So I don't want to be sitting here going, oh, well, he just doesn't want to hear what the people actually feel about his age and all that stuff. So, but the numbers were quite clear that even among the and we'll transition and talking about it now, but you see the energy that's come out from people. We were all, everyone had a lemon booty, right? Like everyone was just nervous as fuck. Like we don't know, like we need some clarity. We need to know what's happening. And, so now we do know what's happening, whether it was his choice or a choice made for him, as Tyler was alluding to. His stepping down, I think within 10 minutes, he'd endorsed Kamala Harris. Very quickly, Barack Obama, the Clintons, all the heavy hitters started lining up to endorse Kamala. She has at this point, but Jackson just DM'd me, by the way. Biden will be making his first appearance and speech tomorrow to discuss him stepping down. So y'all can tell me.
What's the word for that?
Y'all can tell me how convincing he is, John. John, tell me how convincing he is tomorrow about.
He got a little nasal drip. That's all. He just got a little nasal drip. Yeah,
man.
So we know at this point, because she's now got the delegates, it will be Kamala Harris, who will be the Democratic nominee. Obviously, a very historic moment. So what is y'all's three reaction to that and to what's happened in the last, is it 24, 36 hours since it became obvious that she was going to be the nominee?
As I mentioned before, I was kind of on the side of you got to run Biden, and then, Biden gets elected, he hands the keys over to Kamala. I thought that was going to be the plan, right? But, like I said, the groundswell of support that I've seen for her has convinced me otherwise. I think that she is the candidate. Like, she raised like $100 million in like 2 days. Like,
was it the most in Democratic history?
Yeah.
The first day was the most. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And like 62% of contributors were like first time contributors. Like, so, she's got a movement behind her, man. And I think that that's something that I've always disliked about the Democratic Party. And is that I feel like they prioritize white voters that they haven't won over more than their base, right? Like that's something that I've always disliked about them. Like when we had the election 2020 and we saw how black voters in Detroit and Milwaukee and Atlanta flipped those states blue. The conversation was, oh no, Democrats, we're losing our grip with working class white people. And I hated that instead of commending the black voters who got out there and made that change, right? And the thing about it is this, the Democratic Party has not won the white vote since 1968. And it's very clear why, because the Civil Rights Act of 64 and the Civil Rights Act of 1968. Like when Lyndon Baines Johnson signed that Civil Rights Act of 1968, he said, I fear the Democratic Party has lost the South for a generation. And he vastly underestimated that. They lost the South forever after that, right? The South red as fuck is going to always be red as fuck. But, there's a part of me that is enjoying how now it looks like the Democratic Party is leaning into their constituency, leaning into how they are a black and brown, that is the foundation of their voting base. So I'm interested in the step that the Democratic Party is taking forward here.
Yeah, I am too, Tyler. I have my feelings. I'm a registered Democrat as well, and I think only one time I've crossed party lines, and I stand by that it was a state election here. Mm-hmm. But ultimately, I'm a Democrat essentially by default because I am Black, because I am a middle-class citizen, because I am a woman. So majority of the things that they push for fall to people like me. I think they're a little too soft most times. This whole we gotta be high is bullshit. They're not being high about any fucking thing. And sometimes you gotta fight fire with fire. Sometimes people need to get punched in the fucking face. I stand by that. I don't care. I'm gonna die. Put that on my grave. Sometimes people need to get punched in the motherfucking face, because that's just the truth, right? You could be the kindest, goodest people get shitted on more than the bullies sometimes. So sometimes you gotta be the bully and you gotta fight back, and they don't do it enough for me. But until we have more than a two-party system, because currently that's what we have, that's who I align with. So when this all happened, I went through an array of emotions. I'm not going to even lie to you. I was immediately dejected. I was scared. The fear just struck. Like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, what is going to happen? Because I don't know how this is going to happen. I don't know how, because obviously it was going to be Kamala. Who else was it going to be in such a short period of time? And the fear of how this was going to go really, struck me, because this country is not prepared for that. They're not prepared for a Black woman being in power. But once you started seeing the donations, how they were rolling out, once you started seeing delegates roll out one by one, I slowly became optimistic. And then I was on that call, that they had on Sunday with Donna Brazil and others. And then I became empowered. You know what I'm saying? So I've gone through an array of emotions. I think yesterday I went through a situation of, concern, because, now the narrative is, oh, she was a whore back in the day and she ain't got no kids. They're gonna find something. They're gonna find something to disrespect a Black woman. And as a Black woman, I have to watch that. And so now it's a concern in terms of, what do I have to see people like me go through? And let's stop this whole, like, she's not Black. Y'all, ethnicity and nationality and race be beating y'all's ass. Ethnicity, nationality, and race be beating y'all's ass. Jamaican is not a fucking race. Okay, please stop with the fucking bullshit. I am tired. Go to, maybe not Google anymore, because Google be on some bullshit too, but just find out what the fuck the three things mean. Okay, the lady is an Asian woman and a Black woman. Whether the fuck you want to agree with me or not, that's the truth, right? So, and at the end of the day, you think that the Republicans are going to push her to be anything other than Black? That works in their favor. So we have to treat her as a Black woman, even if you don't think that she's a Black woman. And so my concern now is just how she's going to be treated, because of course her records, that there's a lot of misinformation going around, is being toted. Her alleged past is being toted, and I worry about how that's going to affect her. But I'm also confident that she knew that all of these things were going to happen, and that she's prepared for the fight. And then also, we got her back, because, Black woman had that one call on Sunday, Black men had that call last night, and we raised so much money for her. And I'm starting to see, white people get in line, the Swifties. Y'all gonna make me like Taylor Swift now. I gotta listen to her music.
Taylor Swift, no, you ain't gotta listen to music, but she kind of cool, bro. When you get
no, it's not that I don't like Taylor Swift. Y'all be putting a little bit too much on her music. It's not seasoned enough for me. Beautiful gowns, okay, beautiful gowns. But I don't know.
Kind person, very good. Nice. Yeah, very kind nice person. Human.
Very nice. Can't do the. I will listen. Agreed. I will nod my head to all the blood rush away to Since You've Been Gone if y'all get this lady in the White House. Okay, I'm just saying.
I'm not under the illusion that, white people that are Democrats aren't racist too. You know what I mean? Like,
same.
I was wondering if, they were going to support as well. Like, are the Democrats ready for a Black woman in power? You know what I mean? And the donations obviously, prove that, it seems like they are. So that's what I was worried about. I'm just like, yo, who's a VP candidate? Let's get us I'm telling y'all in the group chat, real sharp-faced Colin Cowherd looking motherfucker. You know what I
mean? and he should come from a swing state.
Well, yeah, he got
in my opinion, he got to come from a swing state.
We need one of them to balance it out, because there's gonna be some that definitely aren't. We got to balance that shit out. So yeah, that's why I met with it. But I was go ahead. What's saying?
I was just gonna say, John said if there's an angle of more than 45 degrees, we gotta
get mathematical. Pull out the Pythagorean theorem. Go back to geometry. You know what I'm saying? We gotta get really mathematical. Find a very funny trapezoid face ass nigga. You know what I mean? The Americans love a sharp faced white man. You know what I mean? Get him the VP and see what we can do, bro. You know what I'm saying? But yeah,
sharp faced white man.
I'm not under the illusion that Democrats don't have. You know what I'm saying? I'm not, like you said, like Rita said, I'm a Democrat by default. You know what I mean? Not because I'm in love with the party, because if I were to vote the other way, you feel me? I'd be
because you see these motherfuckers on the other side, because
it's fuck them, but motherfuck the other side. That's where I'm at with it. So for folks that feel that way, I'm there with y'all. But yeah, so we'll see if the nation as a whole, but I feel like the Democrats have shown, at least through donations, that they really are backing her. So
yeah, I also think something that might have played a part in why the Democrats were ready to pull the trigger on putting Kamala up front is Trump's VP appointment. Bro, that motherfucker
He's terrible.
No sauce. He's
terrible.
He's
terrible.
For one, that's a pick that does not expand your base at all, right?
None.
Like it does not reach out to people who are on the fence against you. It just makes the people who are already with you double down a bit more. And votes only count once, so that shit doesn't count. You know, so and like, bro, like they probably saw this dude and they're like, yo, we might can beat these motherfuckers because for one, he is very, very much anti reproductive rights. You know, he is very much on the side of trying to get a federal ban on abortion.
And Republicans don't even want that. Their base doesn't even want that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, and you've got a woman candidate who you can put up here who is, you know, that's going to be at the forefront of things that's on her campaign trail there. So yeah, I do think that appointment perhaps made the Democratic Party be like, hold up, wait a minute, this motherfucker ain't got no sauce, like Rita said. You know?
Like, what the fuck is diet? What was Diet Mountain Dew about? Like, what the fuck? So like, I was just like, what did people was in the crowd like?
Explain the clip. Explain the clip for people who are not seeing that stuff on Twitter.
He was just, I guess he was talking and he was like, yeah, did he say he had one this morning or something like that?
He said, Democrats said this is racist, and I'll tell you why. Well, Democrats think everything is racist. I had a Diet Mountain Dew today. They'd probably think that's racist. I had one yesterday, too. They're good. And it was crickets, bro.
I was like, I'm so confused. I was like, what is that supposed to mean? Like, I needed to be explained like a 5-year-old dog. Like, cause what the fuck? I was like,
the lights get too bright for him.
Dog.
That's the nigga that sound nervous under the bright lights, nigga. I had one yesterday. It's good.
Bro, you were up there about to deny racism. And the crowd wasn't even behind you. That crowd wasn't the racism denying crowd wasn't behind you.
Bro,
then he made a comment.
Diet Mountain Dew got him. You can't have no Diet Mountain Dew in front of racists. That nigga's a monster. Bro, Diet Mountain Dew? I don't know about this motherfucker. You know what I mean? Come on, G.
That's it. That was like when the dude in Pennsylvania was talking about a crudité.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's like you are misunderstanding your base.
You're talking about, bro.
No, that's the great. Then he talks about what did he mention? He said something about Kamala just having some government job, and he said it like as a knock, and I'm like, dog, like military people are government people. Like, did you not just realize that you just didn't just shit on her? You shitted on like people who protect and serve this fucking country, dog. Like, I was very confused at what his messaging was, and apparently they're not feeling that shit either, because apparently there's some rumblings going on over there about it. But too late. Sorry, you stop.
See that
you gonna have to roll with
clip.
This motherfucker.
I gotta see that shit, bro.
I dropped it in the group chat last night.
Oh, okay, damn.
Yeah, Tyler said it last night. You didn't want to watch the Republican VP last night because you were probably with your babies, and I understand that decision 100%. In terms of the VP choice for Kamala, the two front runners right now would be Josh Shapiro, which is a very angular white man, popular Democratic governor from Pennsylvania.
Mathematician, baby. Good job. Good job. Good job.
Good. And then I think the guy who I think right now is probably the betting favorite would be Mark Kelly, which is a Democratic senator from Arizona, who's more of a potato face white man, John, but an older, he was an astronaut. Okay. He was, you know what I mean? Like,
astronaut,
but you have that, like, and I just think it's very clear. And I think one of the things that's interesting to me about the pick to Kamala is it was an immediate judo throw of every attack we've seen on the Democrats for the last 6 months to a year of, and I went on Twitter and made the joke. I saw a lot of other people making the same joke. Republicans are running a 78-year-old man for president. Like, that's disgusting. I would not. Like, he shouldn't even have a driver's license. He's running for president. Like, we've got the vice president, a very capable, much younger woman, and an astronaut, and you're running a dude who doesn't know that Diet Mountain Dew is not going to play with the fucking MAGA base.
Hey, that motherfucker might not be all there mentally either. Like I'm talking about like dementia type shit. Like, you ain't see the speech Trump had about if he would rather die by electrocution or by shark attack. Did you see that shit?
Yes.
Like, what the fuck is going on up there, dude?
Crazy.
He's been talking about Hannibal. He's been talking about Hannibal Lecter like he's his cousin for like 3 months.
He is definitely off his bonkers, and that's another fucking problem, right? We focus so much on Biden, we're not focusing on the things that he's saying, and that's problematic because he's saying a lot of crazy shit. Like it has nothing to do with nothing. His speech at the convention was about nothing. It wasn't about policy. It wasn't about what he intends to do for people, and then he went out and then had, he did a rally, and then he talks about how he has to give Elon Musk, all of these things because Elon Musk is giving him $45 million. What the fuck about the people in the audience, dog? Like, who gives a fuck? I'm like Dave Chappelle. Who gives a fuck about Ja Rule? Who the fuck about Elon Musk, dog? Like, what about these people? What about your people? Is racism enough for y'all? Like, and
I mean, it is though. I think it is though. I think it is though.
And that's the fucked up part, right? Because a lot of these people are on fucking Section 8. A lot of these people are lower middle class. So this shit is going to hit y'all too. But y'all so entrapped on being the superior race that you're willing to spite your fucking nose or whatever for your face. And I'm just like, this is dumb. Like this is fucking stupid. And hopefully what you hope is that the people that are so disgusted with this type of behavior are like, look, I don't really like black people like that, but that black girl seems smart, and she was a former prosecutor, so there's law and order there. So I'm gonna go ahead and go for the black girl. I'm gonna go ahead and go for her.
I totally agree with Tyler's take on who Democrats should be prioritizing, but it is worth noting, when you look at Obama's 2008, like that's how Obama won in 2008. There were people on our side who were fired up that he was black and about his life story and all this other stuff. But there was also, and I don't like when this gets used as an inspirational quote, but there was also the white voter in Indiana who said, I'm voting for the N-word because of his healthcare policy. Like, that's a story that gets told a lot. The truth of the matter is the best thing that could happen.
So much, dog. So fucking much.
But it's to Rita's point. It's illuminating about there is a line somewhere of self-interest, and the best thing that's happened to the Democrats, and it's where even with Biden as the nominee, the numbers started closing. Was the more this Project 2025 stuff gets pushed out there, that Tyler brought that up too. He said, you start talking about people's overtime, they don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck about racism and misogyny all of a sudden. You're talking about, you're talking about my ability to live my life the way I want to buy as much beer as I want, to be able to have a weekend out in the mountains, whatever the fuck it is people want to do. And like, I feel like the JD Vance pick was was spiking the football. I feel like the Project 2025 shit is spiking the football. Like they think they won already, because usually they're better about keeping the stuff they want to do secret.
They started high stepping at the 30-yard line. You know what I mean?
So we think a Leon Let gonna happen? Is that what we think about that?
Get stripped
about to be a touchback?
Yeah. But yeah, like speaking of Project 2025, like, I saw all the discussion about it, and I didn't check it out until, a few weeks after folks were talking about it, because I was like, the way they were framing it is it was going to, attack black people and gay people. I was like, that's not going to move Trump's base. But I dove into it, and they are attacking the working class too. Like they are trying to ban overtime.
The vast majority.
Are trying to increase the retirement age. They are trying to have workers be taxed more. And I'm like, okay, way too much dip on y'all chip here. Y'all really might lose some voters behind this shit.
And this is the first time in my lifetime, y'all, that I've ever owed money ever. First time in my life I've ever fucking owed money. And we have to remember, like, that's just the beginning. That's the shit that Trump and Paul Ryan did years ago when he was in office, when they raised the taxes for this year or whatever. And so that's just the beginning. I know people that bought houses, that have children, that are in 2-income homes that owe money. That is unprecedented, dog. Like, typically you get all the credits for that shit. Being married, having a home, having kids, and they owe money. So my thing is that if it affects me to some way, some shape or form, I know it affects you, because we know what the average income is in this country. People ain't making money like that. They're just not. And that's the reality, right? So at what point do you start saying, okay, but what about me? What are you going to do for me, the regular? Because you want to do all this shit for your little billionaire friends, but you don't want to do shit for me, but just spew hate and racism. Now you gotta sell me a little bit better than that, bro. The hate and racism is cool if you give me a tax cut. You know what I'm saying? Like something.
Throw me a bone, brother.
Seriously.
I know I have a friend that's an elected politician locally where I live, and that's his thing is always people want you got to kiss people on the forehead and pull the blanket up over them, right? Trump's kissing people on the forehead. Yeah, everyone over there is horrible. We're gonna deport. Like he's giving them the emotional bullshit that they want, but he's not pulling the blanket over them. Like and quite the opposite. He's trying to snatch that shit back and give it to Elon Musk for some reason. So it's I think Tyler said it. They got way out over their skis on abortion. They got way out over their ski. Like, I think they're the dog that caught the car on some of those issues. And to me, again, I understand the worry about Kamala, but to me, having a strong woman to attack him on those issues, that's the best possible thing we really could have asked for.
What are the chances of them debating?
Because
what are the chances of him?
Trump already said he's too much of a pussy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
A career prosecutor versus a career criminal, like
he's gonna get his ass beat. So he already look. The smartest thing he's done thus far is say, "Hey, I ain't gonna debate that black woman."
Mm-hmm.
That's the smartest thing he's done thus far. Is say, "Nah, I'm good. I'm gonna just keep talking to my people over here in the corner."
Yeah, because he tried to put a little okey doke. Was like, ABC, they're too biased. I want to have this on Fox News. Then word got that the Democratic Party was open to having it on Fox News. He'd be like, no. Right?
Yeah.
Like that motherfucker back out quick.
No, Kamala said we can debate anywhere you want, bro. Anywhere you want to talk, let's go talk.
Yeah, she the body.
Motherfucker ain't want me them Temecula. That's see, you did all that talking. Don't want to meet nobody in Temecula, dog. Come on, man.
The last question that I wanted to ask y'all before we get to Dookie Butt of the Week is we're up here in beautiful Mammoth in the Sierra Nevadas in California, and we're traveling with my wife's family. So her mom and her mom's stepdad, or her mom's husband, my wife's stepdad. So we have a pair of older black voters who are very much not feeling that the country is ready for, is the term that they keep using, a black woman to be president. And I've heard that from quite a few older black people in Long Beach. It's all over Facebook, that sentiment. What Rita said is right. Like the momentum of the last couple of days I've seen start to turn people around, but that's also a sentiment I've heard a lot. And I'm curious for your guys' feeling about that from a younger generation, because I feel like I've heard that so much feels like our generation is switched faster than the older generation of voters is in the process of. So what are your guys' thoughts on that? And what's an argument for our listeners or for us to give to people when they say that?
Shit, I feel like shit. Well, we got to ride now regardless. You know what I'm saying? We have a black woman who is going to be the Democratic nominee. And, I was a bit guilty of this myself, but I strongly believe that we cannot let bigots dictate the timeline here. Right? Like we cannot do things because, we might not win over the bigs. Like I said, that's one of my biggest pet peeves with the Democratic Party is that, they're always hand-wringing about, we can't win over the white working class, which is just a euphemism for white racist people. Right? Because if you're a white working class person who's not leaning towards, towards the Democratic Party, which is way more friendly to the working class than the Republican class, have to question what's the motives there. But, it's just, I think it's just time for the Democratic Party to double down. You are a party that is out here fighting for black and brown people. You're never going to win those white voters over, right? It's time to deal with reality here. And, I think that, and truth be told, this wouldn't even be a conversation off of that electoral college bullshit, because I think Kamala will mop her up with the popular vote. You know what I mean? So yeah, I just, like I said, I just think that this is the step that the Democratic Party should have been taking for years, where they prioritize their constituency more than the voters they need to win over.
Yeah, I look at it like, I felt this way, just not even just black women, but women. Like we saw what happened with Hillary in 2016. Yes, I know that she won with over 1 million more votes, but like you said, the electoral college is a scam, right? It's built to have people like Donald Trump win. And I do feel that way. Don't get me wrong. I feel like if this was just a regular voting situation, I don't think that this country would be prepared to vote for the Black woman, but I think that this is an unprecedented time. Oh, yet another one. Thanks. Where, we're forced to choose how we're able to live the rest of our lives. This is not just about 4 years. You know what I'm saying? This is about much more than that. And I think that in this instance makes it different than any other scenario. You know what I'm saying? I think that you have to look at it as, yeah, I mean, I do think that this country, by and large, is racist. I do. And it's unfortunate because Black people and brown people be cool as shit. So y'all just be missing out on a lot of shit. But ultimately, it's either they're raised to be that way, or they're groomed to be that way. But ultimately, at some point, when you start to look at where your racism is taking you and how extreme it's going to be and how costly it's going to be for you, I think that this is a time where we can start having that conversation, right? Because look at Obama and how he became the president. Look what, he came after Bush, and we know how that went down. We know the Enron. We know that everything crashed. People lost their life savings. People lost all of their money that was tied up, for them to retire. And they were like, yeah, I really don't want to vote for the N-word, but like at the end of the day, this ain't working. And I can't afford to continue to go through this, right? So the more we get people to understand how big of a deal this is and how real Project 2025 is and how much this dude is a fucking liar. Because honestly, the Trump 47 plan ain't nothing but Project 2025 light. It's got a lot of the same talking points that it has. And once you realize how effective you are in the grand scheme of things, I think we'll start to change that narrative, and we'll see that she is, in fact, the best person involved if you want to be able to have healthcare or have your parents, because a lot of us are now at the age where we're starting to take care of our parents, you know what I mean? Or have, unions and have those things. So I think, unfortunately, because of the circumstances, we're ready. And to me, if that's what it took to get here, then we're here. And that's all I can say for that.
When we first got on here, Mike, I was like, how far is he going to take us back if he wins? 30, and you were like, that's the 90s. I was like,
that's the 90s.
Probably 50 years minimally. That's minimal, I mean, as far as like if people were to be elected, I mean, y'all know how I feel about the two-party system, our government, you know what I'm saying? Like how I feel about the Gaza situation and shit like that, like truly disgusted. But I'm voting for my, not just for me, but for my shorty and for my mama. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking about them. You know what I mean? So for those that feel that way, I get you. You know what I mean? It's big fuck a lot of this shit. You know what I mean? But if we're trying to, take care, like if we don't want to get set back 50 years, I don't see how not voting is going to help us in the future. This ain't the time. This is a very pivotal time in American history. And I'm saying in our lives, and I think we need to step up and vote. And then let's see how we can make shit shake long, because I feel like there needs to be some big changes. You know what I'm saying, up top. You know what I mean? And I don't like a lot of shit that went on. But I don't think this is a time to like take that stance and not vote. We see what happened in 2016. This is just going to further that if we do the same thing this year. So I get how a lot of motherfuckers is feeling. You know what I mean? Because I felt the exact same way. I've cried myself to sleep over shit that's going on overseas. You know what I mean? So.
Well, thank you guys for sharing all that. I think hopefully it's a useful conversation to people, but I appreciate you guys, kind of stating where you're at, and I think you all represent large swaths of thinking in the Democratic Party or in independent voters. So that I thought that was great. We're gonna wrap up with Dookie Butt of the Week. Jackson, I think, said he figured out how he can get himself in here for Dookie Butt of the Week. I'm gonna open up with Dookie Butt of the Week is me. And all of the other wannabe pundits, like Tyler was talking about, like I did the same thing y'all were talking about. Was it going to be Kamala? Like, are we, is the country, all this other stuff? All of that thought is a result of the social media like disease that we're all on. Why am I worried about what other people might or might not think. Am I ready for a black woman to be president of the United States? Those are my favorite people on earth. Yes. I'm very ready for us to have a black woman president. Do I know more people like me or more people who aren't like me? I know more people who are like me. She's going to get California's vote. My shit's not going to count. That's part of the problem with the Electoral College. My shit's never counted in a presidential election. But Tyler said it, man. Like, we've been scary as fuck on our half of the country. And why are we sitting here going, oh, well, you know, what are they going to do? Or, you know, look at how they reacted to Obama. Black people are 2-0 as major party nominees in the United States of America. You know, we elected a dude named Barack Hussein Obama like 7 years after 9/11.
Hussein, crazy.
So instead of me sitting here or my friends sitting here, my family sitting here going, what are we ready for? How are people going to think? I believe it's good and great that we would have a black woman as president of the country. And it should be my job in our democracy to tell people that and convince people I know who are on the fence, not to go, oh, what are the polls going to say? How do people in Michigan feel about women? Like, it's our job to fix
fuck
that,
Michigan?
Right? Like, that's
Are
the
you
whole
saying fuck Michigan? We don't give a fuck about Michigan on Jenkins and Jones.
My aunt is a elected official in Michigan. She's a gay white woman who will be very happily, proudly voting for Kamala Harris. And I would say this too. I think there's something to white women liking Kamala Harris more than they like Hillary Clinton. And I hope that there's some truth to that. But I know I've had a lot of people in my family who kind of made that point. And I think, like I said, speaking from my experience, I see some truth to that. And I hope that nationally that's the case as well. But that's my Dookie Butt of the week is me. I'm going to do better. And that's all I got. John, who's your Dookie Butt of the week?
USA. The basketball team for winning. Why did you win? Brian, why'd you make that layup, bro? Get them niggas that dub, bro. You feel me?
I think that's,
you know, give South Sudan.
I know he's not talking about Germany.
Come on, man.
Nah. Brian had to show y'all he still got it.
Nah, man, nah. Give South Sudan that win, G. You know what I mean? I mean, you see old boy at the end. You see that emotional speech afterwards? You feel me? Like, talking about how they don't even got, you know, they don't even have courts indoors. Man, let them have that W. Fuck that. Who cares y'all 40-point, you know what I'm saying? Like, if they were a 40-point underdog, who cares? You know what I mean? We don't necessarily need all that. You feel me? We gonna be all right. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got a squad, nigga. Like, dog, give them that W. Let them have that, man. Come on, G. I want them.
Some very degenerate.
You said what?
Some very degenerate gambler almost made a lot of money on like $1,000 money line.
He might have needed that
South
too.
Sudan.
He probably had to give a kneecap away after that, bro. He might have a pirate peg leg now, nigga. I made a layup, nigga. Oh, Captain Hook ass nigga now because bro made a layup. You're ruining families, bro.
Well,
Tyler, who's your Dookie Butt of the week?
I never heard of this motherfucker until last night. But yeah, he's obviously a big deal when in the MAGA world. He's got like 500,000 followers on Twitter.
Tyler, I want you to know I left
Thank
this
you.
for you because I wanted to make fun of him because he was Italian, but I knew you needed this one.
Thank you. So it's some dude named Joey Manarino. Never heard of the motherfucker until last night. But like I said, he's a big deal. He's got like 500,000 followers on Twitter, and he's a big MAGA dude. And he was caught pretending to be a black woman on Twitter. He forgot to log into the fake account, into the black woman account. And it's the tweet this motherfucker said. I want you to understand. I want to paint the picture for you here. There is a very Italian man's face with the shit that I am about to read for you, that he's trying to sound like a black woman. All right. So he says, I am a true black American woman. And I've been black all my life. And it's an Italian face motherfucker saying this in the Abbey, right? I was born black and I will die black. My mommy black, my daddy black. I will never cast a ballot for that Kamala Harris woman as long as I live. Trump all the way, all day, every day. Listen, bro.
How hard was it for him not to say Mooley? I was born a Mooley. I'm a die a Mooley.
Look. And the thing is this, even if he hadn't have been caught, like, we'd have still known that was a digital blackface account.
Man.
Because that whole my mommy black, my daddy black. We don't talk like that, dog. Like they try to imitate us, but there's always a giveaway that they have. You just can't like for one, they don't know shit about us. You know,
Yeah.
so we're starting there.
Never had to.
Right? Yeah, and two, there's just a syntax of Black communication that if it ain't in you, it ain't in you, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like my mommy Black, my daddy Black. These motherfuckers think we talk
mommy.
like Dumbo crows.
Like,
you know what I'm saying? Like, my mommy Black, my daddy Black. Who the fuck talks like that? But yeah, that is my Dookie Butt of the week. Cause dog, like I said, they don't know shit about us, and it's always an easy giveaway.
Rita, your Dookie Butt of the week.
I think my Dookie Butt of the week is people that don't read, dog. Like y'all let fucking Vladimir Putin give y'all all the information, and you don't research shit. Like nothing make my ass itch more than people that don't read. Like it literally is something that. Why do you just let people tell you shit and then you just believe it and don't do your research about it? I do not fucking understand that logic. It makes no fucking sense to me. You know, the amount of people with thinking problems in this country is crazy. And these motherfuckers can vote, and they do every fucking time. They vote.
They do
every fucking time. Every time they have an opportunity to go out there and vote with their ignorant ass because they don't read, they do it. So this is for the people that don't read. Stop getting your information from one of these big Twitter pages that is probably paid for by somebody, or the Shade Room, or Spiritual World. Quit with this bullshit. These people are all paid for. They are forced. They are paid to put propaganda out there for you to make you feel a certain type of way. That fucking document of the 2025 price. Yeah, it's 924 pages, but you know what you can do? If it's something that you're interested in, you can Control F and put in the item that which you're interested in knowing what the fuck you want to read about. You don't have to read a whole 924 pages, but if it's something specific that you're looking for, computers and technology give you the option to skip around to find the shit that you're looking for. I don't understand why this is a hard concept. Stop letting other people tell you shit. Because you look dumb as shit when you get on the line and then everybody gives you facts and then you don't come back and you got nothing to say. You look fucking stupid. Grow up.
Also,
get it together.
They'll read half a sentence and just guess the other half.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
and look,
like,
that's
bro,
me.
Nigga, there's a
I'm
whole
a skimmer.
other half. No, I'm not mad at skimming like you, but it's like, okay, say we're talking. You know what I mean? And I give you half of the thought. Nigga, did you pay attention to the rest of what I said? You know what I mean?
No.
Like, nigga, I hate nigga, but there was a whole other part that spoke to what you just talked about. You know what I mean? Niggas will read half a sentence or like half of something and then I guess the rest. Nigga, take some time, bro. It's okay to read the whole shit. It's okay to open your ears up and listen to a whole sentence. That shit be getting on my nerves. But yeah, I hear you on that. Motherfuckers don't be reading, man.
Dog, read.
Rita, we might need you on regularly between now and the election, please.
Hey, dog. Are we gonna have some liquor the next one? Because I mean, it's gonna get worse and worse. I'm gonna have to take some shots.
Nerves gonna be bad. Nerves gonna be. Bring back the Honey Jack days. You feel me?
Hey, listen. Might be time, friend. We might have to have bourbon tastings and shit while we talking about politics.
So, it'll be fun if we do that, man. We might not talk about much politics, nigga, but we'll enjoy ourselves.
Jackson, who's your Dookie Butt of the week?
I'm going to give my Dookie Butt of the week and then some funny things from the chat. My Dookie Butt of the week was going to be Trump for declining to debate, but now I'm going to flip it and say my Dookie Butt is a preemptive one for the Democrats. If they don't, there's none of this go low, they go low, we go high. No, publicly shame him. Every chance you get, Kamala and everyone.
Nigga in the dick on national television.
Everyone should be like, he is too scared. He's terrified to debate me. This guy who claims to be this big, strong, rah-rah man is terrified to debate me. It needs to be the public rhetoric that everyone is like sick of, like the pop song on your radio. Until he agrees to a debate, until he changes his mind because cares too much about his self-image, you need to publicly shame him every chance you get. And if they don't, the Democrats will be my Dookie Butt of the week.
Someone needs to call him a pussy.
Somebody does. And it can't be the Kamala Harris, but someone's got to.
It can't be Kamala, but it needs to be a high up person needs to say, I guess Donald Trump's too much of a pussy.
Biden will do it. Don't count him out.
And you know he loved the cuss, right? You know he loved cuss words. Joe Biden loved cuss words. So
he called the motherfucking alley cat just the other week during a debate. He'll for sure call that man a pussy now that he ain't running.
You know what I want? I put my $25 down, so I get to tell people what I want them to do now. Since I've put my 25 in the pot, right? I want y'all to go around and start putting some billboards up of some nasty shit that he done said or nasty shit that he done did. I want to see a billboard that says "Grab her by the pussy" and put his fucking picture on it. I want to see something that has him like talking about, well, I'm giving police full immunity and put his fucking picture on it. I want y'all to go to hell, okay? Don't get cute. Go to hell, okay? Because he already there. So whatever is below that, you need to go there.
Even what you're describing would simply be telling people the things that their candidates
That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying.
In the chat, someone was like, when they go low, we send an uppercut. Like, we gotta be, let's go.
Yeah.
Somebody's a boxing
Fuck that
fan.
going high shit. Hell no.
The chat was on fire today, as always, by the way. When we were talking about picking a VP candidate for Kamala, they're saying, sounds like we need to pull out you guys are saying we need to pull out a protractor to decide who's the VP candidate, which is hilarious. Yeah. And then when they were talking about JD Vance, someone said that they were saying it felt like a victory lap pick for the Republicans because it didn't expand their base at all. And someone was saying it was the guy from House of the Dragon, the white dude who was trying to tame sea smoke, and he said, "I've done it."
That's exactly who that motherfucker is.
This is what we need, baby.
Flamed up.
Pull this out, baby. Let's make sure we
protract.
Let's make sure we, make sure everything. Hey,
oh my God!
Why do you have a
protractor?
Why do you have a protractor?
Oh, a compass. That's a compass. That's a compass.
Yeah, that's a compass.
That's a compass.
Oh,
Still kind
I
of
just
weird.
grabbed something I used in geometry. You know what I'm saying? For drawing.
Okay.
Drawings and
Okay,
stuff like
okay.
that. Yeah,
The last thing from the chat, there were many people asking for me to put on my journalism hat and ask the question, Rita, what was your Chick-fil-A order?
Oh shit. Nosy as shit. I got breakfast. I got breakfast this morning. I had a doctor's appointment this morning, so I got and make sure y'all go to the doctor, okay? Because especially us in this group, we old. I don't know about you, Jackson, but the rest of us in here a little bit old. So I had a doctor's appointment.
Up soon, you know what I mean? It's about that time.
Hey,
you know what I mean?
It's that time, friend. You
I
gotta do what you
got
gotta do.
I got my
I had 4 chicken mini breakfasts with little honey and the what's it called, the home fried thingies. I had that. Yeah. That's what I had. Hey. I don't like Chick-fil-A like I used to, but I will fuck up them little nuggets on the bun.
I think chicken minis are the best thing on the menu there, dog.
The best.
The best.
Yeah. So that's what I had.
I got a question for y'all. Speaking about tuning it up, I had a homie, and this is
where we going,
politics, bro.
Fucking John. Only John would say that.
Happened yesterday, and we was on 3-way with my niggas, and I was blown away. One of my niggas gets his booty hole waxed.
Is he getting it licked? Is that why he's getting it waxed?
No.
Oh, does it to stop the Dookie butt that we talk about it on here?
Told him, I said, my nigga, why are you doing this? He was like, it's just cleaner. I'm like, you use soap to clean. Hair
get a bidet, bro.
Clean.
Get a bidet.
Use wet wipes. Man gets his booty hole waxed, dog. And I don't think he would truly care if I said who it is, but just in case, I'm not going to. But y'all,
his body, his choice. That's going to be recurring the next few months.
Right.
So more power to it.
Campaign trail, nigga. I get my booty all waxed, and I'm proud of that.
Hey, listen, I ain't even mad about the cleanliness part, because as a person that I know that y'all can't have nothing. Black men can't do nothing. They can't have nothing. I'm sorry for y'all, but the best purchase I ever bought or gotten, excuse me, because my boyfriend gonna be mad if I say that, because he got me a bidet. And it was it's the best thing I've ever had, to the point where Chels comes over to my house. Shout out to Chels, she ain't here, because she had to come over here for a couple of days because her air conditioner was out. So I let her stay here, and she was like, "Hey, that thing is phenomenal." Went home and bought one immediately. Immediately.
I'll be honest with you. I was anti-bidet. I'm like, man, this might be kind of weird. I might feel violated. I'm not really fucking with it. So my nigga Adrian, he was like, yo, You know, bro, bidets get you right, G. Like, hey, nigga, like, relax, bro. You tripping. So we had one of this gig I had, you feel me? And I tried that motherfucker, bro. Not mad at bidets. Not bad at bidets. I felt extremely clean in my nether regions. You feel me?
Right.
If you don't have if you don't have wet wipes on deck, a bidet is a nice option, bro. Not bad at bidets. I get it, bro.
Wet wipes are the life. Wet wipes are the life for me. We were in Japan. We were using the bidets. It's a bit much for me, bro.
It tickled. It might did it tickle good though. That's what that man said.
But when we're on the road trip, I bring the wet wipes. Okay. It was just a bridge too far.
You got the dude wipes with the wet wipes. The dude wipes.
Not dude wipes. I got the coconut butter. You know, we don't do the What are dude wipes like all the other male products where it's like we're gonna put alcohol on it so it hurts?
We're gonna just say dude. It's probably the same shit. We're gonna say dude.
Same shit because
it's just like black packaging says the word.
Yeah, man. I've tried a dude wipe. It don't burn. It's the same damn thing as a damn regular wipe. It ain't nothing special.
They just have to give people permission. You know, you're not being a pussy. You're being a man.
Get the Mountain Rush scent, dude wipes.
This is why we need.
These are diet dude wipes. They're good.
This is why we need Kamala, dog. Because why the fuck do we think cleanliness is like gay, dog?
Niggas ain't washing their legs online and proud of it. Niggas ain't showering. Like, it's wrong to shower. The bacteria cleans the bacteria. That's what you're trying to tell me, nigga. Fuck that, bro, nigga. That's crazy.
Rita, it's time. It's time to lay a lot of this shit down.
I just want us to, get over this racism shit. But I just want y'all to wash your legs, and this is y'all, whoever it applies to, your feet too. Don't forget, get into them toes because
get into them toes
because toe jam is real. Toe jam is a real fucking thing. Literally, they make athletes' feet spray because y'all motherfuckers don't wash your feet. Stop. We just want y'all to wash them.
Crazy.
Just wash it.
And on that note, Rita, thank you so much for hopping on. Everyone in the chat, we appreciate you hanging out with us. Hopefully people found that to be a useful episode. If not, we got another one coming on Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific. So you can tune in for that. That'll be more sports ball, goofy shit. I'm sure Jackson's got a new segment he's excited to debut. So we'll have fun on Thursday too. But Rita, thank you so much for hopping on. Thanks to everyone for listening, and we'll see y'all soon.
Bye.